Hello everyone. It's James again. And today, I wanted to make a quick video touching on the subject of hypergamy. Or modern hypergamy rather, and how it keeps poor women still poor oftentimes. And I think this will be a good topic to talk about more than once. As these strange times we live in today needs to be addressed with answers given, so we can climb ourselves out of the mess we are in. So what do I mean by modern hypergamy? I mean the hypergamy that has been morphed and engineered over time, giving the elites a certain result they are desiring out of the members of our society. You see, in years past, though not perfect, hypergamy, along with society's rules of family first, and a woman developing a bad rep for spending time with a lot of men, along with the lack of birth control, made picking a life partner a process of great importance. Was it perfect? No. Some people, both men and women, ended up with narcissist wives and husbands. But there were many that did well with who they picked, and spent their life building a family. No matter if the man was a rich business owner, down to the man with a basic job. Because though the rich business owner had more options, the man with the basic job wasn't left out in the cold by no means. You see, as I've mentioned in previous videos, such a man with a basic job, no matter he be attractive or not, could meet a woman at his attractiveness level with average effort. A woman he could build a life with. Now what do I mean? And this will tie in with how modern hypergamy, as opposed to in years past, is making and keeping poor women still poor. You see, this man with the average job would still at times in his neighborhood or wherever he lived, would have the chance to meet women that had less. Why is this important? Well, even in today's world of a lot of managers out there being women, and more women are graduating college like never before that are in higher numbers than men. And the list goes on and on. And these women still today, even though they are making great money, insist on dating and marrying men that have more than they do. Which leaves a lot of men out in the cold. Good men that are hard working and put their best foot forward in life. Because as many have said, this notion that you can have it all, no matter if you are a man or woman, is nonsense. Because not everyone is going to be a doctor or lawyer, or have a six-figure income. Life just doesn't work out like that for even the people that try their hardest in life. And I say that even as someone that promotes motivational speaking. And yes, becoming the best version of yourself. And though I think we never should stop trying to reach for the top, there's nothing to be ashamed of for having what you have today. But though women are doing so much better in life today than before, and are earning good money, many or most, not all, because I know there are some good women on my channel, but most women in today's society refuse to date or marry a man that has less than they do. And I have a theory on that. Because I believe due to the damage they put themselves through early on in their life jumping from man to man. Most women, not all, but many, no longer have the capacity to bond with, be honest with, nor love the man they will one day marry. Thus they know the divorce will one day happen. And they want to be on the winning side. And marrying a man that makes less doesn't equal winning in a divorce to many. Again, not all, but many of these ladies. But in years past that wasn't the mindset. Yes, there were gold diggers that would divorce for money. But that was in the minority. Most stuck around. Both men and women. Even if the relationship turned out to be a bad one. But if it was good, they really stuck around. However, women did look to a man that was making more because they seen that as security for their family. Which is perfectly normal. Now with that said, in another video, I will be talking about ancient hypergamy that is evil. But for now, this style of hypergamy served both the man and woman well. Because even if a man made an average or basic living, He might take a liking to the woman that was his waitress at the breakfast place he ate at a few times a week. And she took a liking to him. They both found each other physically attractive. And though she knew this man isn't rich, she knew he has the ability to provide, and was in a better position than her job at the diner. Now fast forward today. Hypergamy no longer means finding a good provider. It means finding a man with money to bait switch and steal his money in a divorce. That's just the truth. Yes. I know this happens to women as well. But men by and large pay more in alimony and child support simply because women by and large, not always but by and large, refuse to date or marry men that make less. In my opinion, so they don't lose when the divorce happens. So how is this keeping poor women poor? Well, because more and more men are waking up to the fact they are being targeted to have their resources stolen. When they go into a diner before work to have some eggs, toast and coffee, the pretty woman that is waiting on him, they no longer see her as someone they might want to get to know and possibly marry. They see her as dangerous. When they go through the drive-through window to get a quick bite to eat, and the pretty 25-year-old lady handing him his bag of food, he is no longer seeing her as a possibility to maybe one day ask out on a date. He's seeing her as dangerous. Because men know that dating and marrying, and or having children with such a woman, more than likely will result in his financial ruin. I'm here to tell you, good set apart women, and the men out there that already know this. The brainwashing is that bad. There's no one that hasn't been affected by the brainwashing in our society. And the women are targeted with this stuff from the beginning of being a child. So by the time they are an adult, men nowadays see them as dangerous. Think to yourself. How many women have you seen working in such places? Where you thought, how come they don't have a husband? Why doesn't some good man ask her out? And they can build a life together. And the reason is men little by little are seeing women that make less as a danger, ironically. Because they know the chances of a woman filing for divorce is high. And they think and believe if that happens, even though they don't want it to, but if it does, they will be destroyed financially. Because usually, in my opinion, the women that make good money, that end up with a man that makes the same or a little bit less, want to avoid court if a divorce happens. And oftentimes these women will be the first to come to fair terms with childcare and money. Because they know, even though men normally get destroyed in family court and divorce court, the fact is the court only cares about who has the most money, and how they can prolong the court process to extract as much money from this person as they can. No matter it be the woman or the man. And the women that have or had a lot of money that were brought through this process know all too well what I'm talking about. And this is where some of these women finally see the light and understand how unfairly men have been treated in court for some time now. But because of all this, these women that are in such jobs for whatever reason. Because remember, not everyone is going to turn out to be rich no matter how hard they try. And because of all of this, now men are deeming these women to be a threat and dangerous to the little money they have saved, or the small income that they earn if they have a child with her, and is left for no reason and ordered to pay aggressive child support. More and more men often think twice and will avoid such a woman just because they see the danger, which in turn keeps such a woman from connecting with a responsible man. And as a result they may end up with a man that isn't a producer, that isn't responsible, thus bringing her further down, to where the cycle of poverty goes on and on and on. Which is what the puppet masters want. Because if it wasn't so easy to steal someone's life savings, you would see most of these women swooped up and married by men of all types and varieties. In many instances breaking the chain of poverty. There was a time water met its own level. You would see a handsome man with a handsome woman, a homely man with a homely woman. Yet somewhere hypergamy was involved. Where no matter if you were a man that had a job at a retail store, a factory, a laborer, a bank, selling life insurance, or you ran or owned a company. If you had the courage to open your mouth and talk to a woman, you stood a chance to build a life and a family. Oftentimes two poor people from the same neighborhood would date and marry, both working hard at the same goal to make a better life. This was commonplace. Now today men see these same women as dangerous. It's just sad. So how do we fix this? We fix the laws. We fix the laws. There's a lot of you young aspiring lawyers. Start setting trends in your field that is about what is true and right. And we all need to push for the laws to change. Once you see things more fair with the laws, you will see the old way of men and women having relationships come back again. Now will it be perfect? No. But it's better than what we have today. Well, that's all I have for now. Remember, please subscribe if you haven't yet. If you have, I thank you. Please click the bell to be notified each time I make a new video. And click the like button to get this content to be pushed to the front of YouTube so others will have access to this material. And if you want to support even further, you can do so by the way of Patreon. And if you have already done so, I humbly thank you. With that said, let's continue to pray for wisdom. Let's continue to pray for strength. And let's continue to pray for courage. And until next time, bye for now. And be good to yourself.